Hi everyone, this is Julien, nurse practitioner for Danesthetics Medical. I'm located here in Ottawa, Canada. Today I'm talking about the male face or how to masculinize features. Often enough, medical aesthetics is tailored towards women. However, whenever men come to see me, there are 4 key indicators that I look for to make sure that they look refreshed, confident, and masculine. Stay tuned. I think you guys are going to enjoy this. Alright, so before we begin, I have to introduce you my lovely assistants. We have 2 today. We have Sarah and Stuart. Stuart's new to the show. Welcome, Stuart. First off, we're going to look at the eyebrows. For men, we want to keep them low, and we want to keep them straight. No more than 5 degrees at the peak of the eyebrow. And actually, if you're looking at Stuart's eyebrow here, they're a little bit off. And this one is a tad higher, and if you look at that, you could easily say that that looks like a feminine eye. Compared to here, just that slight difference does make the difference of making a face look more masculine. So what I try and do is keep it low, keep it near the orbital rim, and I can easily control that with some toxin. Next, we're going to go down to the cheek. Take a look at the cheek difference between these two. What do you notice? Well, it's hard to say with this light, but with Stuart's medial cheek, it's really flat. So is mine. And most men don't have much volume here with the medial cheek, so I never want to overinflate this medial cheek here. Actually, what I do is I take the orbital rim and I never want to project the medial cheek more than 3 millimeters. It's key. Next is the apex of the cheek or where the light reflex should be. And this is pretty crucial. 2 things that I look for. I want to make sure that it's lower than female cheek, and I also want to make sure that it's more anterior or more in the front. The other thing that I wanted to make sure that it has a pretty sharp angle. Women, we want smooth transitions. With men, we want sharper angles. Whenever I want to create the male cheek, I do a bolus technique right down to the bone, and that's it. When I'm looking at Stuart's chin, there's 3 things that I look at in order to try and masculinize it or sharpen it up a little bit. I'm looking at how wide is his chin. I want it to be ideally the width of his mouth. Bring that down, I'll put 2 points, and if it's not as wide as those 2 points and someone's looking to masculinize their feature or give him something with a stronger look, I'll put 2 boluses right here and here. The other thing I look for is projection, and I also look for length. So let's take a look at the projection first. What I'll do is I'll take my a straight edge, and I'll take the top lip, and I will want ideally that chin to hit the top lip. For women, I would like to hit the bottom lip. For men, the top lip. And if it's not quite there, I can bring it a little more forward, and it's going to give him that masculine look. Next is I'm going to do the rule of thirds. And basically what I do is I take my golden means caliper or whatever I want to use, and basically I have this should equal here, and it does. And if it doesn't, let's say if it's short here in the chin, basically what I can do is I can add more length to it by placing some fillers in there too. Alright, so your key takeaway for the gonial angle or the jawline here for masculinizing a face is this 1-to-1 ratio. Your projection of the cheek should equal the projection of the jawline. And if it's a little tapered, then what you can do is you can project it out. And that's always going to masculinize a face. If you really want to get picky, what I also do here is whenever I'm doing the jawline, I'm making sure that from the ear to the gonial angle and across, this is a very sharp angle. I want to see a clear definition throughout, where with Sarah's, I do want to see a sharp definition here, but once I get to this gonial angle moving up, it's a little smoother. Alright, so to recap, I want a low, straighter eyebrow. I want the mid-cheek to not be too projected. I want the apex of the cheek to be more anterior, a little lower, and a nice angle. I want the chin to be wider, more projected, and I want the gonial angle to be projected, 1-to-1 ratio, and I want a nice sharp angle as well. So before I go, I wanted to remind you that I am presenting this week at the United Doctors Congress. Check that out. I also wanted to thank you all for all the positive feedback that you left with my previous video. I'm doing everything possible to create the second website to make sure I'm allowed to do it, and at the same time, I want to still post free content for you guys here. So bear with me, more videos are coming, but I appreciate you being here. Take care of yourselves, exercise daily, and please be nice to absolutely everyone. Take care, guys.